assets and liabilities, and the declaration here is this year and it's going to happen in March 2025. So on the 1st of March, we will be opening the systems so that leaders can begin declaring their incomes, their assets and liabilities. And among the standards expected of leaders and public servants under the Leadership Code Act, again, is that duty to declare their incomes, their assets and liabilities, and to declare truthfully and honestly. So I am here basically to unpack the nitty-gritties. Why are we declaring, when to declare, where to declare, how to declare, and to whom to declare, and so on. Okay. So when we talk about who should be declaring in this period of March 2025, there are two categories of people who should declare. According to the Leadership Code Act, all public servants and leaders should declare their incomes, their assets and liabilities. But this time around the corner, we are looking at leaders. But we need to get a distinction between a leader and a public servant. And again, the law is quite clear on who a leader is and who a public servant is, because when you look at the Leadership Code of Conduct specifically, and also the Constitution, specifically Article 175A and B, it defines a public officer as that person in a public office who derives his income from the consolidated fund of the government of Uganda. So you find that all the emoluments, allowances, salaries are all paid to this person from the consolidated fund. So a public servant is therefore any person who works in civil capacity in the government of Uganda, and his emoluments are payable directly from the consolidated fund. And then we ask ourselves, then who is the leader? Because we are saying it's the leader supposed to be declaring in March this year. Under Section 2 of the Leadership Code Act, again, a leader is that person holding or acting in any of the offices specified in Schedule 2 of the Leadership Code Act. Now, Schedule 2 has got two parts. It has got Part A, which provides for political leaders, and Part B, which provides basically for the specified leaders, which includes heads of government departments, divisions, and so on. So all public servants are advised to ensure that they check the schedule to ascertain whether they are a leader, whether they're leaders or they're public servants. So, and that is basically it. And then now we move to the next segment, what to declare. We have just said that every leader must be preparing to declare their incomes, their assets, and liabilities. And this period is going to be on the 1st of March 2025, ending on the 31st of March. So come 1st of March 2025, we will open the system. And therefore, we are hereby encouraging the leaders, please declare, update what you declared previously on the system, and ensure that you declare with honesty and with also integrity. Because when you look at Section 4 of the Leadership Code Act, it requires that you declare your incomes, your assets, your liabilities, and the declaration period has come, and we are already geared up. As the Inspectorate of Government, we are ready to commence the process by receiving these declarations, but it is important that we have this conversation so that we give clarity and specificity on how this process is going to be handled. So the IG is expecting to receive about an estimate of 24,000 declarants from leaders who are eligible to declare during this period. And when we receive these declarations, we then prepare and do the verifications. Verifications is basically the process of checking whether what they declared is truthful and commensurate to their well-known sources of income. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now, if we get to the why, the importance of these leaders declaring their assets. Is there, first of all, any benefit for them? Is it that if they are ever caught on the wrong side, their declaration of assets might save them? Why exactly should somebody, because this is also a matter of privacy, some people do not want to put their things out there, the things that they own out there for the government to know. So if we could start from the importance as we go
Well,
back.
the significance of this whole exercise is to promote accountability, transparency, and anti-corruption and good governance. It's a tenet of good governance for a leader who declares his worth. Then the people whom he is leading basically would be trusting him. And again, when you look at principle number 26, under the directive principles of state policy, within the Constitution, it provides that all leaders, all public offices are held in trust of the people. So if we want to build that trust by the people, then we need to walk the talk. We need to be honest. They need to know our worth so that they don't have question marks in their heads on, but how did this leader acquire this? How does he have all this around him? We're not saying people should not be rich. People can be as rich and can accumulate as much wealth, but get it in the right way and then walk in the light and let people know that you're doing honest, clean businesses out there.
Okay.
And that goes to the resources entrusted to public offices. They are held in a manner that should advance public welfare and also not just for personal gain. So when I'm entrusted with public resources, I should make sure I use these resources for the right cause, for the good of the people, to advance for public welfare. Therefore, there must be transparency in management of power, management of authority, and even management of resources. Because if I'm managing resources in a transparent way, then those people whom I'm leading will basically be trusting and knowing that, no, I think we have a leader who is accountable. We have a leader who has transparency. And like I said earlier on, these are basically the tenets of good governance for which the IG is mandated under Article 225 of the Constitution. It's part of our core function as an institution. It has a function. We have the function to promote fair, efficient, and good governance in public service. So, hence the need for the declarations. As the IG, we are able to check and ensure that assets, incomes, and liabilities of public officers are commensurate to their legitimate sources of income. Yes.
Okay.
How to declare? We will have the online declaration process. The inspectorate has previously faced challenges with the paperwork where people would queue to come to submit their declarations, but and also the cost of procurement was extremely high, distributing, collecting, storing, and so on. But currently, the online declaration has enabled the IG to receive, to process, and also to manage these declarations electronically, and its benefits are far-reaching. One, it's fast, efficient, and effective for the Inspectorate of Government, meaning that it's also less costly. Secondly, leaders can submit their declarations from anywhere in the world, any part of the world, as long as they have Wi-Fi, as long as they have data. Don't say I was out of the country, I was not able. Please, you just log on the system from wherever you are, and you will be able to declare your assets and incomes. You no longer have to physically queue in the IG offices. Then it is considerably cheaper for both the leaders who are declaring and also the Inspectorate of Government, because when you look at printing costs, transport costs, data entry costs, and so on, you find that this is greatly reduced, and it makes the exercise very smooth and manageable. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. I'm talking about submissions being made digitally. There's been complaints that in the last period, like you've said, the systems were not very sufficient, and we recently had the Inspector General, Honorable Bet Kamia, saying people should provide their personal emails instead of institution emails if the institution emails are not working, which brings me back to the privacy point. But the question would be, how have you trained or how have you prepared for this digital reception of information? Have you tested it? Have you made dry runs to see whether the system is now, sufficient for the leaders to hand in their information?
Well, like I said, the Inspectorate of Government is ready. Even if the law had said we start today, we would be ready to kickstart the activity, because we are ready. The systems have been checked, dry runs have been done, we have done update of data, we know how many leaders are expected to declare, and we've gone ahead to train focal point persons. We have focal point persons in all ministries, departments, and agencies. We have got volunteers who are going to be helping out with the IT, and basically we are set to move. Okay. But my appeal to the leaders, I would like to encourage them, when the system opens on the 1st of March, please start the process. Do not procrastinate and say, I'll do it next week, I'll first finish this and finish that, because at the 11th hour, the 11th hour, usually the system gets clogged with so many, and it may delay the process a little bit. So just start the process early. Use your private email, because those official emails sometimes have firewall which are locked, and especially when you receive bulk mails and so on. So it's advisable that you use your private emails, because it's faster and quicker, and it is not firewalled or clogged. But it's still also important to know that there are penalties for breach. When someone does not declare, or over declares or under declares, and there is proof that someone has illicitly acquired resources, we investigate and submit to the Leadership Code Tribunal, and the Leadership Code Tribunal may fine somebody, may warn somebody, caution or demote, recommend demotion or dismissal from office, and also confiscation and forfeiture of those illicitly acquired assets, gifts or benefits to the government.
So those are the repercussions?
Yes, those are the penalties by the Leadership Code Tribunal. But again, it's important to note that during the last declaration, we noted that leaders delayed to log onto the system. For some reason, they wanted to declare at the last minute, and this caused basically stress to the computer systems. And this is why I am saying it's important that leaders log on to the system early and begin updating whatever it is they declared last time. Then in respect to privacy, well, the institution of the Inspectorate of Government, we uphold our responsibilities quite keenly, and also the right to privacy is at the heart of our work, because when you look at the law, the Constitution, for instance, it does talk about the right to privacy. So when you declare, you don't expect to find your declarations all over the place. Anybody who wants to have access to those declarations, for some reason, like there's some institutions these days, when they advertise for jobs, they expect that the applicants submit a copy of the declaration. Approach the Inspectorate of Government, make an application in writing, and we will duly avail that declaration to that person. But it is very important that we follow the laws and the guidelines in place in whatever it is we are doing. Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, talking about the start date, which is next month on 1st, there's another group of people, the uncategorized public officers, which is confusing a little bit because for them their declarations are to be in April 2026. Yes. So what is the difference between them and the people who are starting on March 1st? And
this is exactly where we began from. The people declaring on the 1st March are the leaders provided for within Schedule 2, Part A and B. Schedule 2, Part A has got political leaders, and then Part B has got the classified leaders. Political leaders like the head of state, His Excellency the President, the Vice President, and the ministers in that category. And then Part B basically talks about the heads of institutions, the district councillors, and the leadership, the heads procurement, the head teachers, and it's all provided therein. And that is the reason why I was advising, in order for you to know whether you are a leader or a public servant, please check the schedule and know exactly where you fall, because the public officials will be declaring in April 2026. And that is when we will be able to receive their declarations. Yes.
Thank you. And talking about awareness, how aware are these leaders that they're supposed to actually do this process? Have they been told? Has word gone out? Or is it that they're going to just hear it from colleagues or something?
Well, we have engaged with these leaders a number of times. Like in December, I was talking to the chief administrative officers and clerks, and this engagement is going to continue running on through the month of February. If we get a window, we'll be interfacing and having this conversation with the members of parliament and the different leaders in the different categories, just to keep reminding them. We're going to launch the exercise on the 28th of February in the judiciary, and we'll be there half day, basically talking about the declarations. So every leader of whatever category must be aware that they have got this responsibility, knowing that they previously declared their incomes, assets and liabilities. And it's going to be as simple, because if you have declared previously in the system, you're basically going to just update. If you have acquired land, you update and put it there. If you got this vehicle, you put it there. If God blessed you with a child, you will have to put the names and the age of that child there, because remember, you have got responsibility over your children in terms of maintenance, in terms of fees, and so on. So it's important to be as honest as possible. If you have bonds or you have got treasury bills, please indicate it there as well, because those are part of your assets, those are part of your savings. So I would like to inform the general public that the IG has been receiving online declarations from leaders since 2017, and even in terms of compliance rate, it has kept on improving. 2017 we had 85%, 2023 we had 90%, and now this year we expect that we'll receive at least 95%. So I wish to state that a good number of leaders who did not submit their declarations for whatever reason in 2023 were prosecuted before the Leadership Code Tribunal for failure to declare, and they were punished. You remember the penalties. Some people were fined depending on the weight of it. Some people were cautioned, others were demoted, others were dismissed from office, others were asked to take vacation from office, and some people had their property confiscated and forfeited to the government of Uganda. We wouldn't like to get there. So leaders, please let us walk in the light. Let us declare as honestly as possible. And this is basically a tenet of good governance, because people will trust you when you walk in the light, when they know your worth and know that you genuinely acquired these assets. Yes.
Okay. And on the issue of omissions and misrepresentations, do they face the same repercussions as those who have probably not, if somebody omitted or changed something or gave false information, the repercussions are the same as the ones you are telling us about?
The Leadership Court Tribunal handles this on a case-by-case basis. For instance, there are some people who under-declare. You have got 21 houses, you're only declaring 3. Then during the process of verifications, we get to know that you actually have these 21 houses because you're paying utility bills, you have them registered maybe under your companies with the National Registration Bureau and so on. So when we discover, then we put you to task to explain, because this is unexplained wealth and this property can be confiscated and taken to government. Then for some reason there are people who, it depends on a case-by-case basis. Someone during the process may forget that he had just acquired a car and he did not do the transfer. May forget. So those are the cases where the Leadership Court Tribunal can issue a fine for failure to do this in time, a fine for not remembering all your assets and so on. But there are big cases of primitive accumulation of wealth, where someone has gotten this money illicitly, illegally, and is quick to put it on real estate. Those are the cases where we subject the lifestyle audit. See, but how comes within this period of time he has been able to acquire all this? Is it commensurate to his well-known sources of income? So when we subject such a case to the lifestyle audit, then we are able to get a lot more information. Sometimes we have to do clandestine investigations where we send people without even your knowledge, and we get that information. We do bank inspections and so on, and then we get information which basically leads and points at the fact that you are not a honest leader. Okay. Yes.
Thank you very much. And on the issue of if somebody is married to another and the spouse is not a government official, but they do have assets, do you count them jointly, or is it the government worker and the leader that you're interested in?
When you are married, you definitely have an interest in the person you're married to. So you basically have to declare also whatever it is belongs to your spouse or close associates, because you have an interest. For instance, when I'm declaring, I declare what I have, what my husband have, what we have jointly, the children we have, and what it is we are spending where, and what is owed to us from elsewhere, and so on. Okay. So it's about your incomes, your assets, your liabilities. Yes, where you're spending, like you have this vehicle, you're servicing it, it's a liability. You're maintaining it. You declare it as well. Okay.
And if I have other avenues of earning, like business,
yes, if you're doing farming and you're selling potatoes, you indicate how much do you earn annually from your potato business or from your beans, because you're just basically declaring what it is you're earning. Because you could be a government official who is also a farmer and you're selling milk, or you're selling produce, or you're involved in exporting hides and skins, or something you're doing out, or you have a hotel or a company running. So the declaration process expects that you basically declare all those.
Okay.
Yes, and what it is, it's your gross income or profits from those businesses. You declare it all, yes.
So it's not bad to have these things, it's not bad to own them, but you have to declare them.
And walk the light.
And walk in
yes.
the light. Okay. How about if I was gifted this particular business, this particular car, this, house? Do I also declare that? Because
now,
it's a gift from someone.
When you look at gifts again, the law treats gifts differently. When you receive a gift as a public official, you need to understand the spirit behind the gift. Is it a birthday gift? Is it a Christmas gift? Is it a souvenir you're being given? What is the intention of this gift that you're receiving? Because at times people will give you a gift to compromise you, to make you, make a decision to their favor, to buy you over. So as a public official, you need to do due diligence and look at this gift, look at the value of this gift. Because when you look at a gift again, under the law, a gift is defined within Section 2 of the Leadership Code Act as anything of value or benefit given to a leader directly or indirectly. There is this thing people call casimo, but what is the worth of that casimo? Or someone may want to give you a motorcycle to make it easy for you to come to the studio or radio station all the time. But what is it? Is it a ceremonial at a ceremonial occasion? So a gift or donation to any public officer on any occasion or commission or any transaction shall be treated as a donation. Usually when people receive gifts, like members of parliament, some of them come to the office, write to us and say, I went on this trip to India, I received this van, I received this ambulance, I would like it to be used in my constituency for ABCD. And then we write and say, well, thank you for declaring, I think you can use it for the rightful purpose. Or we write to the permanent secretary and let them see what to do with that gift. Like, like now, somebody like me, because I'm Deputy Inspector General of Government, someone may be giving me a gift because of that title, that position. You've invited me in my official capacity. So I am meant to come and hand over that gift to the permanent secretary. But there are certain gifts you may give me on my birthday, like my followers, students and young people out there, my mentees. Some of them go and draw art pieces of me and draw me and bring that. I take that, I receive and thank them. But it's the value of the gift. If it is something that exceeds 5 currency points, it is supposed to be declared. You may be there and you're leaving office and people want to give you these bulls, these cows, these animals. Just make a list of them because people are thanking you for the time you have spent with them, the time you have worked with them. Walk in the light and declare and say, these gifts, I received them during the time of my exit, and this is the list. And we will write back and say, thank you for declaring, use this gift for the rightful purpose. So what should leaders or public officers do when they receive gifts? It's basically that. Ordinarily, due diligence is important. Establish a source of gift. For instance, I don't expect you to bring a gift of matoke to my gate when I'm doing your case. It will not be a gift. You'll be bribing me. So let me continue eating my malakwang and entula. Don't bribe me with a gift of matoke or a turkey. So any gift, donation or commission on any transaction given to any leader is deemed a gift, a donation to the government of Uganda or to the institution he or she represents. There are gifts people receive during traditional marriages. Those gifts are not supposed to be declared. Because remember, customs require that even gifts are given by the bride to the groom and vice versa, to the elders, to the uncles. So those ones within the law are not supposed to be declared. But even whenever a leader,
5 currency points.
Yes.
Okay. Whenever
a leader or a public officer is in doubt as to the appropriateness of accepting a gift or benefit, the person can come for clarity and specificity from the Inspectorate of Government. Will be able to explain, because so many people have question marks. I've attended functions like recently during the convocation in Makerere, and the convocation organized to give us a t-shirt and I think a cup, a tea cup and something. And as they were giving gifts to their chief guest, the chief guest had to carry the bag and say, Deputy IGG, please, I have got a shirt and a t-shirt. Is it worth? And yes. But gifts really are gifts. And at a function like that, you may not require two, because you look at the function and the occasion. Okay. Yes, is it a birthday? Is it a celebration? Is it a commemoration? Is it an anniversary? Is it a souvenir?
But people are going to hide under that. I received a car on my wedding. It's a gift, so I don't.
There was another case of one chief administrative officer who got over 400 or 500 animals to pay for dowry, and we were wondering, where is all this coming from? Were they given to him by friends? Is it commensurate to his well-known sources of income? So we basically pick interest at our own initiative when we see. Sometimes you see this from people who do investigative journalism, or it's published on the media. We pick interest and investigate and check and find out, establish the source of all this, because you're a person, 500 animals, and your position, yes.
So you
but sometimes you realize maybe his father gave him some, maybe the friends collected some, but 500 is a number that raises a question mark, especially for a civil servant. People would wonder and say, this
they
man
give birth over time, so the cows give birth, maybe.
But not as fast as that.
So you investigate to the dot.
Yes, we investigate to the dot and ascertain the source.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. It's a very beautiful discussion. However, we have to take a very, very short break. If you're a public servant or a leader in government out there, I hope that you are picking a thing or two. If you are also inspired to become a future leader in government or a future MP, this is what you have to do. You have to declare your assets to government, so that we make sure that you're earning and your spending and your expenditure and the things you own, they all tally and they all, make sense. Yes, so we are going to take a very short break. We are powered by Protea Hotel by Marriott and Tebe. We will be back after the break. Don't go away.
Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott and Tebe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. Issues at hand, powered by
Patricia Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
Yes, you're very welcome back to Issues at Hand. Thank you so much for keeping it Church of Uganda Family TV. It is a Monday morning and I hope that you are having a very beautiful, beautiful morning. My name is Carol and I'm here with Dr. Patricia Achan Okiria, who is the Deputy Inspector General of Government, and she's taking us through a discussion of how to declare your assets in case you're a public servant or a leader in government, in the government of Uganda. She's taken us through the importances of actually declaring your assets, your income and liabilities, and what it can prevent you or save you from in case you do it in the right way. She has also told us what can happen in case you don't declare these assets. What exactly are you likely to face out there? Which problems are you likely to get into? So it is better to save yourself all these problems and issues by actually declaring the assets. It's coming starting on March 1st. The portals will be open. I think the people who are concerned with it, the public servants, they know where the portal is. So the portal will be open and you can begin the process of declaring your assets, your income and your liabilities. And I'd like to start, if you lost the assets, if you lost maybe the property you own, yet you had already declared it to the inspectorate, how do you go about that? Do you now go back and say, first remove this, I've lost it, or something like that?
Well, usually when you've lost an asset or item, you report the case to police and there should be a police reference number. But in the event that you have not done that, you declare this asset probably previously and now this time you don't have it, you update and remove it. The system allows you to update and remove. Just like when you have a chattel in land and you have decided to dispose it or sell it or forgive it out, you basically remove it.
Yeah.
Yes, and that is the reason why I'm talking about the update, because that gives you an opportunity to clean what you submitted previously. If there was something you forgot to submit, you can include it this time around and say, hey, last time I forgot to include the fact that I had taken a loan. So you include that. So whatever new has come, you have to update the system and include it. And if you have acquired more or you have lost, please, you also indicate it. You may be having this car and you've disposed it off, or it was crushed away in an accident, God forbid. You just delete it from the system and add the new assets you have acquired. If you've not acquired any, then you just go through and resubmit as it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Why is it being done every 2 years? Why has there got to be a 2-year gap?
Like I said earlier, it's a tenet of good governance for leaders to promote transparency, accountability, and anti-corruption, and to ensure that they are demonstrating the principles of good governance. And one of those is being exemplary. If your people know your worth, because you realize that there are some people whose contracts end after every 2 years or 3 years, yes, then it's a good period to be able to assess a leader. And even in terms of accumulation of wealth, you can be able to know a leader who is honest in 2 years will not have primitive accumulation of wealth. If there is primitive accumulation of wealth, then it is basically a red button or a red flag for us to pick on and say, but how comes within these 2 years this person was able to acquire all this? What business is it that would give him all this money, or what it is it that he's doing differently that would cause him to have all this? So it's basically a red flag which we pick on and investigate and ascertain on whether these resources were acquired illicitly or genuinely. So the law gives us the 2 years, and then for public officials, the public servants, it's after every 5 years. So they declare their incomes, their assets and liabilities to the Inspectorate of Government, just like the leaders do after every 5 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, we have different leaders in different ranks and positions. So maybe if you could shed a light on the list of these particular people.
Yes, like I said earlier on, we have got a second schedule of the Leadership Code Act, and we have got 2 categories, the political leaders, and then the specified leaders. Perhaps I will take you through.
Okay.
Within the second schedule, we have Part A, which covers the political leaders. And the political leaders here who are expected to declare are His Excellency the President, the Vice President, the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of Parliament, the chairpersons and vice chairpersons of the National Conference under the movement political systems, the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister, National Political Commissar under the movement political system, the Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General, the Ministers of State and Deputy Minister, Members of Parliament, Directors and Deputy Directors of the movement political system, the members of the National Executive of any political party or organization in Uganda, chairpersons and vice chairpersons of district or sub-county, members of the District Executive Committee, district councillors, municipality chairpersons, speakers and deputy speakers of the district councils, and also within Part B, we have the specified officers who are also leaders in the second schedule. And these ones include judges, all judges of the courts of judicature, the president and deputy president of the industrial court, the magistrates, the registrars of courts of judicature, the inspectors of courts, the permanent secretary, heads of government departments by whatever name is called, heads of divisions, heads of sections in any government department are also supposed to be declaring within this category of leaders. We also have presidential advisors and presidential assistants, presidential ADs, private secretaries in the president's office and state house, and then we have the ambassadors, all ambassadors and high commissioners, all officers in the Uganda officers in the Uganda People's Defense Forces, director generals of ISO, of ESO, and other security organizations. The Inspector General of Government and the deputies, including myself, are supposed to be declaring, and heads of the directorates, departments, divisions, and sections in the Inspectorate of Government. And then we also have the Inspector General of Police, his deputy, and all officers of above the rank of Inspector of Police. Then we have Commissioner General of Prisons, and Deputy Commissioner of Prisons, prisons officers above the rank of Assistant Superintendent. Then we have the resident district commissioners, deputy and their deputies and assistants. We have the chief administrative officers and their deputies and assistants, town clerks and their assistants, treasurers, deputies and assistant treasurers, and we also have the heads of districts or directorates of departments, head teachers of senior secondary school and post-tertiary institutions, members of the secretary or the commission or board established by the commission, by the constitution or any other laws. So we also have the Commissioner General of Uganda Revenue Authority and employees above the rank of Assistant Revenue Officer, Governor of Bank of Uganda, Vice Chancellor and Chancellors, of deans, wardens of universities, deputy directors and directors, the Auditor General, Director and Manager of Cooperative Unions, the Chairperson, Board members, Chief Executive of the public body, Accountant in a government, Project Manager, and so on and so forth. So I urge leaders out there, please look at the second schedule of the Leadership Code, and the second schedule will show you exactly whether you are a leader or you are a public official. And then the Inspectorate of Government has put in place avenues to help leaders who may need help, especially during the declaration period. And like I said, we have got focal point officers out there in all ministries, departments, and agencies who are ready to help you with the process. And in case you're having challenges, we have our toll-free lines of the Inspectorate of Government, which I will share shortly. And leaders can also get help from the accounting officers and or the focal point persons we have been talking about. So as members of the Fourth Estate, like the Family TV here, I know you're doing a very great job, but we also encourage you to continue informing leaders, to call upon leaders, and also take interest in this declaration period and keep encouraging leaders to submit their declarations in time. And this will go a long way in eliminating corruption. So as a fourth estate, you find that Family TV will have contributed immensely, because I know there are leaders out there who are now listening to me and are keen to follow. So I urge you to always also give us information of suspected leaders, suspected assets of leaders or public servants whose properties are beyond their well-known sources of income. And such information sharing by leaders' property will help the Inspectorate of Government to effectively carry out verifications of their incomes, of their assets, and of their liabilities, and be able to take on the cases if there is any case or cause of suspicion. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is the system open throughout the year, or is it just in March, or like after every 2 years?
Well, the system will be opened in March on the 1st up to 31st March, and will thereafter close the system and begin to do verification. So we'll first have to look at the system generated results, how the declaration went, then we establish by what percentage was the response, and then we then go to check why didn't this category, why did this person not declare, what happened. Then we put those files together and prepare to submit to the Leadership Code Tribunal after investigations for them to go ahead to do the needful. Yes.
Okay. And the Honorable Betty Kamea mentioned that public should report cases of suspicious accumulation of wealth. What do you have to say about public's involvement in this process?
Yes, previously we have called upon the public to own the war against corruption, and we labeled this corruption war the people's war. Because if the public does not report these cases to us, then we don't have, members of the public who give the leads, who file these cases, and except for a few where the inspectorate takes on its own initiative. So we call upon the public to keep reporting any suspicion. Anyone who you think has accumulation of wealth which is really suspicious, you should be able to report. And we've kept on receiving these complaints. But do not bring frivolous cases where this person is your enemy, you have Nugu, you want to fight him. Well, bring genuine cases that are investigatable, that are prosecutable, because we also have those frivolous cases of people. Because someone is your enemy, he wants to let you down, especially now that we're going to elections. There are people who have their political battles, they want to tear the others apart, they want to weaken the opponent, and in so doing, they're bringing frivolous cases basically to destroy the opponent. So be as genuine. As leaders, we expect you to be very responsible. We expect you to walk in the light. We expect you to bring things which are truthful. We expect you to be as honest and as transparent as possible. And that is the spirit behind us saying we want to promote transparency, accountability, and anti-corruption as a true tenet of good governance.
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much. Maybe as we start to wrap up, the theme is enhanced accountability through wealth disclosure. Why?
Enhanced accountability through wealth disclosure, because we know that when people declare their incomes, their assets and liabilities, we are promoting accountability. We are promoting transparency and anti-corruption. And we have had this, we have a tax strategy in the Inspectorate of Government, which has now been rolled out to all ministries, departments, and agencies. And within the NDP4, it is actually a cross-cutting issue. So all ministries, departments, and agencies are expected to have their own inbuilt anti-corruption mechanisms. So we expect that leaders will be able to come out and declare in a bid to enhance accountability, transparency, and anti-corruption. So this whole process, like I said, because we hold these public offices in trust of the people. So if we are holding these offices in trust of the people, that means the resources entrusted to us have got to be used for the full benefit or welfare of the people. That means we're supposed to be accountable to the people. And it's a reason why even when we go out to the countryside, we call upon leaders to walk the talk. Those who are accounting officers, we're encouraging them to do their budgets and pin on the notice board what their priorities are, in every quarter, so that the people get to know and see what they're doing, so that the people own the war against corruption, because it's the people's war, and therefore it's the people who see what is happening, and it's the people who report to us, it's the people who raise the red flags, and we take action as the government institution, which is the lead institution in the war against corruption.
Okay, thank you. Talking about the people, you promised them a toll-free number on which they will call.
Oh yes, I did. You can call the toll-free line. We have 0800 111 666. I repeat, 0800 111 666. And then we have 0800 111 777. We also have mobile numbers and WhatsApp. The one which is mobile and also on WhatsApp is 0707 721146. I repeat, 0707 721146. You can send an email also to the Inspectorate of Government on this email, declarations@igg.go.ug. The email is declarations@igg.go.ug. So I would like to take this opportunity as I wrap up to thank you so much, viewers. Thank you for the good work you're doing out there. Thank you for loving and watching Family TV and following this conversation. I would also like to thank the government of Uganda for the continued support in the fight against corruption. And I thank you all, our fourth estate partners like the Family TV and the public, for always being passionate again about the fight against corruption. And thank you so much, our moderator, for having me here this morning.
Thank you so much for being here. Our regards to everyone at the Inspectorate. Thank you so much for the good work, Doctor, and thank you for being with us. Thank you for giving us time here on Church of Uganda Family TV. Thank you so much to our viewer for keeping it Church of Uganda Family TV. Thank you so much for watching Issues at Hand and joining us every morning. Please do the same tomorrow. We shall have a string of programs that you ought not to miss. We also have programs coming up, including entertainment and inspirational programs that you ought not to miss. Remember to check out the conversation and follow it on our Twitter and on our X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube, where we were live. That's at COU Family TV. My name is Carol, and have a very, very lovely morning.
Issues at Hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.